Hi everyone, this is Debs Cooper, and as you can see I have a different background. I'm trying to get this lighting okay, so fingers crossed this actually works where I am. No, I haven't strategically placed the plant there. That just happens to be the best place for the lighting where I'm staying right now, because I'm actually calling from New Zealand, Dunedin, where am I? Christchurch, at a friend's house. So it's 10:30 in the morning, and today I'd love to talk to you about Muppets. Now, when I talk about Muppets, I'll just get my little piece of paper here. Talking about Muppets, Muppets is an unusual word that I can relate to. It's the ones where peeps frustrate the out of you. Now, you know a Muppet. A Muppet could be a boss, an employee, a friend, a parent, a driver, somebody who rings you up, the telemarketing people who ring you up when it comes to tea time. A Muppet is somebody who's just someone who you get really, really, really incredibly frustrated by. So I spoke to a friend and I said, what would you like me to talk about, on my lives? And she said, Muppets. I'm currently working with a bunch of Muppets. So I thought that's a perfect one to relate for other people. So when I talk about Muppets, let's talk about a driver, say for example. Let's talk about somebody who's actually at work and you're working with a Muppet. Muppet, I think, is actually quite a pleasant word for all the words that we would like to use on how we can relate to them. So we'll just refer them as a Muppet, but you can use whatever word that relates to you. So we have Muppets, clearly. I go to a time when I had a colleague at work who was just constantly asking, in my mind, dumb questions that were so achievable that you could answer, but they weren't in the flow of how do I do this. They were more needy along that lines. So that's how I can relate to what a Muppet I refer a Muppet as. So first, when they come to you and they do Muppet things, acknowledge it. Acknowledge it. They've come to you. That's fantastic. That is brilliant that they've actually opened up and shared with you, whether that you just happen to be the dog they want to kick all the time or you just happen to be that person they offload to. Just take it on that you are that Muppet, they are that Muppet, and they're just offloading to you. So first, acknowledge it. That's fantastic. The second is this authoritative figure or is it not? Is it somebody who is a boss that I should be subordinating to or should be listening to what they're saying? Or is this, hi, the person just joined, hi, or is this something that we actually, they're not an authoritative figure and they're just doing their stuff because they're doing their stuff? Now, I go to a Muppet being somebody who's driving and they just cut you off. Now, I would perceive that they're not an authoritative figure over you there, unless they're the police, the ambulance, one of those things that have to get there in a hurry, or maybe a truck you might perceive as being a authoritative figure if you're in a Mini Cooper. So are they an authoritative figure or not? You're going to have to handle these Muppets differently if they're an authoritative figure or not. So if they're an authoritative figure, you definitely must acknowledge what they're saying, because there's nothing worse than somebody trying to get their message across to you. And if you're being paid by them or in some form, you are not listening, it just becomes more frustration and more frustration. It just builds up and builds up and builds up. So decide if they're an authoritative figure or if they're not. Parents could be an authoritative figure, may not be, depends on your age, until you actually start to find your groove on where you place them into your life with energy. So if they're an authoritative figure, definitely acknowledge and definitely take on board what they're saying, because they're saying that you'd like to take on board and take action and get moving. Now, that's what I love about the tips that I say to my daughter is I'm definitely not saying this because I love the sound of my voice. I'm saying this because I can see when I did this last, the challenges I had from this. So I'm protecting you from doing this challenge or not. So are they an authoritative figure or not? Now, if they're not, just take on board what they're saying, and they might have some actually great little golden nuggets in there. They might. If they're an authoritative figure, they might have some golden nuggets in there. They may not. But I'm going to talk to you about how to actually communicate with them in a minute. But first, decide if they're an authoritative figure or not. Then you're going to look at what value are they giving you right now. Is this something that you're really struggling with, that they're asking you to do or not, or are they just voicing their opinion? What value are they actually giving you right now? So the key is to stop and get present. Listen to what they're saying and go, how is this serving me? How is this a benefit to me? What value are they giving me right now? So you can think of something along the lines of somebody's asked you to do something, and they've asked you to do something, they've asked you to do something, and you haven't done it. Clearly you haven't done it. And then they start throwing their weight around and saying, well, I asked you to do this, why haven't you done it? Da, da, da. That's when it goes to the Muppet category, because they're overextending what they're doing. Now, if they're an authoritative figure and they've asked you to do it, then clearly this is your stuff, not other people's stuff. They've asked you to do it. You're not doing it for some specific reason. So what? Oh, no. Bad reception. Whoops. Okay, well, fingers crossed you can actually understand what I'm saying, but I will definitely put this into an email next week. So what value are they giving you? Are they giving you tips on how to do things quicker? Are they getting you to buddy up with somebody else so somebody else can give you some advice when they did it last? Are they getting you to communicate with somebody differently? What value are they actually giving you right now? Is this something that you've avoided for so long? Is this something that you have avoided? So what value are they giving you? What is the benefit to them of giving you this information? What you're going to do is you're going to do at least 10, 9, 10, that's my accent, benefits to you of what's going on to you right now that they're being this Muppet around you. Is this allowing you to disappear from work? Is this allowing you to look at your priorities? Is this allowing you? So what value are they actually giving you? And I'd love you to do 10 values or 10 benefits to you. Okay, so when they're doing this stuff to you, just stop and go, okay, acknowledge, yep, are they an authoritative figure or not? Which we're going to talk about. And what value are they giving you? So they might actually be giving you golden nuggets that you're sitting in your clogged up mind that you're actually not even prepared to listen to what they're saying. I understand that. Sometimes people tell me certain things and I'm like, I'm not doing it, I'm not doing it, I'm not doing it because you've tried to put me into a box. I'd like to think I'm common in those areas. So think about that. Okay, so then you're going to, when you've done 10, just sit in your heart and go, have I learned something from this lesson? Every lesson is a blessing. So if you can take on board whatever happens to you and you can resolve that and you can settle your heart down, that's going to allow you to keep functioning throughout the day, the week, the month, and things are not going to run you. So if you can't sit in your heart and after doing those 10 benefits to you, the 10 values to you, if you're not sitting in your heart and going, okay, I can see how this has actually served me in my life, I can thank them for that, then you've got to do more. So then it's another 10, 9, 10, 10, 10. Now, you don't have to thank them in person, but you can actually shut your eyes or you can just go, thanks, Mum, for sharing that information with me because I can actually see how it's added value to my life. If you can't do that, you've got to do more benefits, values, blessings, whatever you'd like to label it as. So 10, maybe I'll say 11, legs 11. We'll just say 11. 11 to start with, this will actually give you a shift and settle yourself down. Now, once you've actually done that, then you're going to be productive and you're going to do whatever it is that they've asked you to do. Now that's in a work setting, but what happens if it's a driver and they pull in front of you and they are a car, they are a Muppet, close call. They are a Muppet and they pull in front of you. So what value have they given you? Have they made you look at leaving work earlier so you can get home on time or whatever it is? So leaving your destination earlier to get to your next destination so there's not that frustration. Have you thought about putting some music on, or is there something else that's going on that you can put some music on to take your mind away from the chaos outside? For me, I drive quite a bit. If I'm in town, I'll drive quite a bit, and so I love putting podcasts on or music that I can sing to. So when I have erratic drivers in front of me, I just go, okay, that's cool. What's going on in this particular song right now that I need to sing? So it just gets you present to what it is. So going back to these, we've got acknowledge them. Are they an authoritative figure or not? What value, benefit, blessings do they bring into your life for when they do their muppeting? And then can you thank them? Now you can just thank them telepathically. I don't even know what else you call it. Just thank them that way. You don't have to thank them in person. So to communicate to people who are an authoritative figure, when you communicate to people, it's wise to have a win-win conversation when you're getting something across to them and they're getting something across to you, so you both actually feel equal. Now, that is just purely by doing, what do I bring them to the table, what do they bring me, and communicating to that in your articulating that words. So there's an event I'm doing, because I'm in Christchurch, there's an event I'm doing called the Key to Self-Clarity on tomorrow, Saturday the 21st, and it's at the George Hotel. And one of the things we're going to do is we're going to take your fulfillment of what you're doing. We're going to learn how to communicate that to other people. We're going to take uninspiring tasks that you're really frustrated with. We're going to go much deeper on how to handle Muppets, although I haven't framed that in my marketing, what Muppets really are, how to handle Muppets, and take those uninspiring tasks that we've got, get a win-win in communication with you. So you're going to get children to do things that they might not necessarily do, colleagues who do things that they may not necessarily do for you, how to get a pay rise from a boss, all those things. You're going to learn how to communicate to those people and have that win-win. So the key is what's important to me to what's important to them, and linking them both together. So I'm going to unlock that a little bit more, the key to self-clarity. If you're in Christchurch, just give me a buzz and let me know. There's an event on Facebook. So how to handle Muppets is not how we initially thought, is to kick them in the crutch area and have satisfaction of them going down, run them off the road, not letting those people in. The key is acknowledge that they're having a day, whatever it is, and you're going to handle that your way. Acknowledge what they're saying. Are they an authoritative figure or not? And what value, blessing, benefit do they bring into your life when they're doing this muppeteering? And are you prepared to thank them? And if you're not prepared to thank them, it's wise to do another 11. Like I didn't do 10, do another 11 benefits. And if you'd like to know more, please drop me a message. Let me know where you're stuck or unstuck, and I can help you with that. And next week, let me know what you'd love to talk about next week, because I haven't got anything on the hit list for next week. So send me some feedback. Let me know what's going on. But in the meantime, enjoy being a Muppet. Enjoy having those Muppets around you. I've got the sunshine here in Christchurch, which is lovely to see after I left Sydney and it was raining. So I'm at a friend's house, and I have to do a big shout out to her, because she is a pinball fanatic. And if you could, I won't take you through, but she has probably got about 10 or 15 pinball machines. So tonight, I can assure you, I'm going to be playing pinball to take my mind off my Key to Self-Clarity event tomorrow. And so it's a pretty cool place. I can't wait to see what she's going to do with her vision from here. And she's clearly not a Muppet. Well, she might be in some areas. But thanks very much, people. Debs Cooper, if you've got any questions, let me know. Enjoy your Muppeteering today and the people you handle. And I will talk to you next week. Thanks very much. End live video. I'm getting so good at this. See you later. Yes.